Good morning, everybody. I am going to read us a story. We are going to start talking about some plants this week, and this story has to do with some plants. So this story is called The Tiny Seed. It's written and illustrated by Eric Carle. We've read some of his books before because we know that he is both the author and the illustrator. So he does the words and the pictures. And also we always look his name on the book, Eric Carle. It kind of looks like it's written on there, but we know it's really not. So this is The Tiny Seed by Eric Carle. It is autumn. A strong wind is blowing. It blows flower seeds high in the air and carries them far across the land. One of the seeds is tiny, smaller than any of the others. Will it be able to keep up with the others? And where are they all going? So if you look at the picture, all these seeds are big, and back here we have a little tiny seed, and it's wondering, am I going to be able to keep up with all these big seeds? One of the seeds flies higher than the others. Up, up it goes. It flies too high and the sun's hot rays burn it up. But the tiny seed sails on with the others. So you see, one got too close to the sun. It's on fire right here. So if it's on fire, is it going to be able to grow? No. Another seed lands on a tall and icy mountain. The ice never melts and the seed cannot grow. The rest of the seeds fly on, but the tiny seed does not go as fast as the others. So all the others are still up here, tiny seeds left back here in the back. And then we have the seed that landed in the snow. Are things good at growing in snow and cold weather? Not really. They need warm weather and sun to help them grow. Now they fly over the ocean. One seed falls into the water and drowns. The others sail on with the wind, but the tiny seed does not go as high as the others. One seed drifts down onto the desert. It is hot and dry, and the seed cannot grow. Now the tiny seed is flying very low, but the wind pushes it on with the others. So in the mountains, it was too cold for the plant to grow or the seed to grow. Here in the desert, it's too hot to grow. Finally, the wind stops and the seeds fall gently down on the ground. A bird comes and eats one seed. The tiny seed is not eaten. It is so small that the bird does not see it. Right here is so tiny. Now it is winter. After the long trip, the seeds settle down. They look just as if they were going to sleep in the earth. Snow falls on top of them and covers them like a soft white blanket. A hungry mouse that also lives in the ground eats a seed for his lunch, but the tiny seed lies very still and the mouse does not see it. So all of these seeds, something's happening to them. They're either getting eaten or they're not growing, but the tiny seed, he's still chugging along. Now it is spring. That's the season that we're in right now. After a few months the snow has melted. It is really spring. Birds fly by, the sun shines, rain falls. The seeds grow so round and so full that they start to burst open a little bit. Now they are not seeds anymore, they are plants. First, they send roots down into the earth. Then their little stems and leaves begin to grow up towards the sun and the air. There is another plant that grows much faster than the new plants. It is a big, fat weed, and it takes all of the sunlight and the rain away from the small, new plants, and that little plant dies. So this big weed is taking up all of the sun and rain, and a little plant died. But the tiny seed hasn't begun to grow yet. It will be too late. Hurry, but it finally starts to grow into a plant. So we've got some plants growing. You can see their roots are in the ground. That's what helps them stay in the ground and stand up. The warm weather also brings children out to play. They too have been waiting for the sun in springtime. One child doesn't see the plants as he runs along. Oh, he breaks one. Now it cannot grow anymore. So if you're stepping on plants, are they going to be able to grow anymore? No, they're going to be broken. They can't grow. The tiny plant that grew from that tiny seed is growing fast, but its neighbor grows even faster. Before the tiny plant has 3 leaves, the other plant has 7. So 3 leaves on this tiny plant. This one has 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, look, a bud. It even has a flower. Does our tiny seed have a flower? No. So it's still growing, but it's not as big as this one. But what is happening? First, there are footsteps. Then a shadow looms over them. Then a hand reaches down and breaks off the flower. So somebody came along and picked a flower. Now, is it going to still be able to grow if you pick it? No. So now that this one's picked, which one's going to be the bigger flower? Yeah, the little seed, because it's going to continue to grow because it's still in the ground. A boy has picked the flower to give to his friend. Now it is summer. Now the tiny plant from the tiny seed is all alone. It grows on and it doesn't stop. The sun shines on it and the rain waters it, and it has many leaves. It grows taller and taller, and it is taller than the people. It is taller than the trees. It is taller than the houses, and now a flower grows on it. People come from far and near to look at this flower. It is the tallest flower they have ever seen. It is a giant flower. Now, we didn't talk about at the beginning whether this was a fiction or nonfiction book, but judging by the flower that is taller than the people and the houses, do you think this is going to be a fiction book or a nonfiction book? Yeah, that's right. It's a fiction book. Some of the things that they say in here are true, but the story of a seed flying and doing all these things, that part was made up by the author. All summer long, the birds and the bees and butterflies come visiting. They have never seen such a big and beautiful flower. Now it is autumn again. The days grow shorter, the nights grow cooler, and the wind carries yellow and red leaves past the flower. Some petals drop from the giant flower, and they sail along with the bright leaves over the land and down to the ground. The wind blows harder, and the flower has almost lost all of its petals. It sways and bends away from the wind, but the wind grows stronger and shakes the flower. Once more, the wind shakes the flower, and this time the flower's seed pods open. Out come many new tiny seeds that quickly sail far away in the wind. The end. So what's happening here? Yeah, you're right. The process is starting all over again. So these tiny seeds are going to be taken somewhere else like it did earlier in the book, and they're going to start growing all over again. So I have a little activity for you to do today. You're only going to need a piece of paper. I have some scissors, but if you don't have scissors, you can use, you can tear the paper. But what I did is I had a piece of paper and I folded it hot dog style like this. And what I'm going to do, I'm just going to cut two cuts, but it's going to make 3 flaps. We've done this in class before. So 2 cuts. So now it only has 3 flaps. 1, 2, 3. Okay. So you have a flip chart basically. So what I want you to do, I'm going to write on each flap. I'm going to write a B on the first flap for beginning. I'm going to write M on the second flap for middle. And then I'm going to write E on the last flap for end. Now, you know exactly what you're supposed to do because we have done this one before. Under the beginning flap, What am I going to draw a picture of? Yeah, what happened in the beginning? So we know in the beginning of the story that the seeds were flying everywhere over some mountains. You might draw the ocean. Something that happened in the beginning of the story. So I just did a little picture. I don't have crayons here. You can use crayons. Next, I want you to figure out what you think happened in the middle. And then finally, what happened in the end of the story. Okay? So try to think back what happened in the beginning, middle, and end. And you can use this foldable to help organize your thoughts. So have fun, be creative, and I will see you guys later. Bye-bye.